There's a reason I don't tweet in the middle of games. It's a 4-quarter football game. And that's how we're going to start our TexAgs post-game wrap. Brought to you by TKO Equipment, your Aggie-owned and operated Texas construction and aggregate equipment dealer. I can't even speak English. I'm so excited. Founded 47 years ago. That's pretty typical, though. By the Smith family, Aggie classes of 60, 67, 69, 73 continuing today with classes of 73, 98, 12 actively involved, headquartered in DFW with a fully stocked branch office in New Braunfels. TKO proudly serves all of Texas and has the equipment and expertise and passion for service to keep your job up and running. TKO is also your exclusive Texas screen machine dealer. I can't even breathe. Give them a call for all your earth moving or aggregate equipment needs, or simply visit tkoequipment.com to learn more. Guess what? A&M wins 31-30.
Let's go.
Bubba's 33. Hey, Brandon Leone, how are you?
Great to see you, Nuno.
Bubba's 33 hooking us up with our post-show, post-game meal. Thank you so much. There's one on Highway 6. I got to hang out with them this week. And, okay, yeah, let's open. I don't want the heat to get out too much.
I like that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, look at that. Pepperoni. And they brought us everything. So thank you to Shelby and Jessica who hooked it up. They're great. Had one of the best burgers ever the other day. All right, let's talk about big plays.
Let's go.
Like, I'm kind of fired up. Like, I don't know about you, but I do know about you. And I got to introduce also CT and Chris Harrington. Dalton Hughes, ladies and gentlemen,
gosh, Dalton
making
Hughes in the building.
An appearance. So here's the deal, guys. I get amped up during football games, right? So when you bring bad energy, I return it. Yeah. When I'm excited, I'm excited. Right now, I feel like we're still in the middle of a game because it was that kind of intense the second half. And what was the stat you wanted to read out?
Since 2004, Peter Burns, ESPN, thank you, brother. You did good on your draft this week. Teams down 27+ in SEC games were 0 and 286.
What happened today?
We got a dub, and we were down more than 27 points, and that's the best second half of football I've seen us play probably since I've been alive, and I don't even know what to say about it.
We're going to go to the panel because I actually had two discussions, guys, during halftime. We'll start off with Chris Harrington. I told Olin and Kay this might be worse than Appalachian State, considering what was happening, what was at stake. Because I thought to myself at that point, if this continues, you might be out of the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. You might be, because a 10-2 A&M team, that's suggesting we'd lose to Texas, not saying we would, but if in that scenario.
100%. Because the way you would have lost if we wouldn't have responded would have put us so far down. They already have been.
Right. And then I'm thinking, no, Atlanta, maybe in and out of the playoffs, or now maybe you're not even hosting a playoff game. If you're in, I'm thinking that, and Marcel's out of New York. Then I saw SEC Mike, a buddy of ours, and everybody else tweeting that the season was over, A&M quit, yada, yada, yada. Marcel doesn't win the Heisman. And I started telling Kay Nagley, this has to happen in the second half. If you win that second half or the third quarter 14-0, I think you're going to win this freaking game. Then it was 21-0.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They won the game. Chris, I took your spotlight. I'm sorry, man, but I'm fired up. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I echo your sentiments. I was having a meltdown in the middle of baseball up in New Caney, and then driving all the way across Houston, watching the game on my phone. But yeah, it went from as bad as could possibly be to this unbelievable finish. Just this team, Marcel. I mean, it's just it's so impressive. One, it was so ugly. I'm like, who is this team? This is not our A&M team this year. And to come out the second half and do what they did, it just it was unbelievable.
CT, I think you're there. I don't see you right now, but your thoughts on this amazing comeback where A&M wins 31-30 after being down so much at the half?
Yeah, just a big tale of two halves. And, you know, in a first half where we can't do anything right and can't get out of our own way, we're doing uncharacteristic things and dropping passes and can't protect and turning the football over. You saw a team that came out the second half and they played like they were the number 3 team in the country. And you know, you guys were at the game, so you didn't hear the commentary talking about this team has a chance to be, you know, a national champion. And you know, you've got to do it week in and week out. But to see them flip the switch there in the second half and come out, offense took control of the game, defense playing lights out, pitches a shutout the second half. that was a championship level team. That's the team that we've come to expect. Now, South Carolina, give them credit. They played hard. They played hard the first half. They made big plays. They put us in positions that, made us make a lot of mistakes. But, you just see the grit. You see the determination. You see the heart of a champion. And it reminds me of, and I go back to the '98 championship team where, Dave South, you never see them quit. And that team just kept playing one play after another, one foot in front of the other, one play at a time. And you see, man, what they did. I bet that place was electric. And I hate that I missed it. So shame on me for not being in the building today. But, man, watching it on this end, in the restaurant, sharing, the game with other Aggies, and to hear that place erupt, on that fourth down, on that stop, 31-30, man. Great game. I can't even talk either. I'm so excited about what these guys have done and what they've done to put themselves in position to get one step closer to Atlanta, but also one step closer to that college football playoff.
Brandon, at the half, Marcel Reed, probably the worst half of his career, and I'm thinking high school and college,
Maybe
right?
his life, yeah.
Right. And I'm going to tell you what his numbers were: 3 of 5, 102 yards. But he had the turnovers, right? And he was sacked twice. And it was just the turnovers were killers. And the way A&M finished the half, that last minute where they gave up 10 points, you're thinking to yourself, 20 to 3 at the half, not ideal.
Yeah.
But 30 to 3?
30 to 3.
Second half, okay? I'm going to just read you his numbers. 16 of 20, 298 yards, okay? 298 yards. So what was different? Because he looked frazzled, but when the lights get really bright in the second half, man, his entire time at A&M, he's at his best.
Well, here's the deal. If we've learned anything about Marcel Reed, and this is what's been so impressive to me as a player, like relating to him, right, as a former player, is that he's been like this his entire career, high school, college. He just stays here, good or bad, right? I mean, he celebrates with big plays and gets fired up, but when it comes down to business, he does it. Here's what I want you to think about, Nuno. You said those numbers. He ends up with over 400 yards passing. This is what's
career high
passing yards. You had zero, not just a little bit. You had zero margin for error in the second half. You're overcoming.
You didn't make one mistake.
Yeah, you're overcoming 2 missed field goals. Marcel throws a pick in the end zone, and then a couple plays later they go 90 yards for a touchdown. I mean, that's a big swing in points. You had drop passes from key players, right?
Yep.
You had missed tackles. And I said this before halftime. I quit tweeting because I'm weird and superstitious. This is how you end up 9-1. Those guys came out. Marcel dialed in. I think this is a credit to Klein. I think they realized whatever the heck they were doing on defense, we were not running the football effective in the first half. And they just said, open it up. Those guys can't cover our guys. And listen, you had guys step up today. I know you're going to talk about them later, but zero. Craver was hurt. Everyone's like, let him rest. We'll get past South Carolina. They're easy. Let him rest in Sanford. Get him healthy for us. And he has a big game. Ashton Bethel has a big game. Comes back.
After a couple of drops,
after
right?
a couple of drops, yes. Yeah. KC has a big game with a drop in the end zone. But ultimately, man, here's the reality. These guys did something. I saw it on the Jumbotron when we walked out. Largest comeback in program history. And Peter Burns also said this. The largest SEC comeback in over 20 years. With everything on the line. And so there's plenty to be pissed off about as far as how we played in the first half. But you got to be happy for this football team, for this program, for the way that they just responded, for Marcel Reed, for all of them. The defense was clutch. I mean, how can you not be over the moon right now as an Aggie football fan after what I think was the worst half of football I've seen us play?
The worst half and the best half, right?
The worst half in the first and then the best. But that goes to show you when this team is dialed in, when the coaches are dialed in, the players are dialed in, they're a tough team to beat.
We'll go to CT now. So CT, what was it? 31 straight points against Mississippi State. What was it against LSU? Was it 33 straight points against LSU?
Yep.
And now what they do in this second half. I mean, this team offensively, there's sometimes you'll look at certain numbers in the game, you'll think, man, they can't do anything. Last week against Missouri, they weren't running the ball well until the fourth quarter. This game offensively, they couldn't get anything going. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, they could score 28, 33 points and win a game.
Yeah, this is an explosive team. And you look at the pieces that were added through the portal with Craver and Concepcion, and you have the young guys, Bethel Roman, and today Isaiah Williams stepping up, Morrow stepping in. after Owens goes down. So we have playmakers. We have guys that can step in, and it's that next man up mentality. EJ Smith having an impact on today's game. But again, I've always said, and I've said it repeatedly this season, it all starts with the guys up front. We couldn't block a soul the first half. That defensive front was wrecking, was wrecking things. It was causing Marcel to speed up his process, causing turnovers. That O-line, I thought, played so much better the second half. They controlled the line of scrimmage. We were able to find room to run, and we ran it just enough. We didn't have to run for 200 yards or anything like that. We ran it just enough to keep them honest, to make them to play their responsibilities, and that you saw what Marcel is capable of doing. But man, when you have that number of playmakers, I'm a big believer. Get the ball in your playmakers' hands, let them do what they do best. And I think Colin Klein did an amazing job of getting those guys the ball in space. And you saw what the result was that second half. So excited about this team, man. This team is on the brink of doing something special. Man, we just got to stay dialed in, take it one game at a time, go 1-0 every single week. And man, the sky's the limit for this team.
All right, we go to Chris Harrington. So, Chris, I mean, offensively in the first half, Harbor, 80 yards, killing you, right? Sellers looks like Sellers. And I'm going to give you some of these numbers from them. So, South Carolina threw 6 of 11, just 101 yards, but it was when they were getting you. They were gashing you. You couldn't tackle. Then in the second half, total yards for South Carolina, 76. And then we had the back-to-back sacks at the end, right? So, just what changed?
Yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that locker room to hear what was said and who stepped up and said it. But they came out a different team. It looked like in the first half, South Carolina really wanted the game more. They were playing extremely physical with great energy, and they came out hot to start. But I'm so glad that, we went back in. We've been susceptible to these things throughout the season. We've seen it pop up. It's hard to really get negative at this moment. I don't think it does us any good, because at the end of the day, a win's a win. The perfect season's still there. So I'm just so excited that they had those conversations at halftime and came out and showed up and did what they needed to do.
Brandon, this team, look, they're going to talk. This is what's going to be talked about. And Nick was reminding me, like, the way we talked about Penn State's win Indiana's win over Penn State last week, people are going to talk about this win over South Carolina. And I'm totally fine with that, because the reality is you beat a team that wasn't very good, right? But what I take great pride in for this program is it doesn't matter. No. They know how to step on a freaking throat. I don't know why I said it like a movie scene there, but
I love that. I love that movie scene. It's emphasis.
It's a Western.
It's emphasis, and we need to emphasize how impactful this was. Here's what I want you to think about. I know everybody on TexAgs listens to Elko and whoever else is in the press conference every week. Was it Monday? Was that the coach's press conference Monday? Mm-hmm. Monday, Elko said it, and he seemed concerned. It's the first time I've seen him concerned or felt like he was like, I'm worried about, I hope my team doesn't forget what happened last year. Because regardless of the portal and graduation and NFL and transfer portals, like, that team was about 80% who they were last year, and they beat the piss out of us last year. And so here's what makes me nervous. When you hear Elko say these two things, just from a football standpoint, they played 5 top 12 teams in a row. Who the heck did they do to piss off the schedule gods? Or what did they do? Who the heck?
Yeah.
Who the heck did they piss off the schedule gods? And then the second thing was, you got a bye week where the OC's been terminated. You're bringing in a new OC who I don't know how much film or what they were able to.
He was their offensive line coach.
Right. And so coming into this week, a lot of people were texting me, a lot of Aggies, how you feel, man? Y'all are going to be 10-0. I was like, I'm a little nervous because Sellers, we talked about this after Arkansas. He fits the Taylor Green mold. We give him some room. We play man in the back. We bring pressure. If there's any alignment misses, they can gash us. He hits us with a beautiful deep ball early on. He's running the ball well. And I just was like, we got to keep it close. Once we got down, I was like, keep it close. And you said 20-3 is different than 33. When it got to 30-3, I'll raise my hand and not front. I thought it was a wrap. That's me. I just was scared. But, dude, these guys settled in. Elko, someone tweeted out that meme of Chappelle last week against Missouri, and it was Dave Chappelle with the guy that's like, red balls. And it was like, and on the bottom it says Mike Elko second half adjustments. In my mind, right, I'm in the Letterman's Lounge. There's a bunch of former players in town. I hadn't seen in forever. We're all kind of like, everyone left their seats because they were worried. Like when we sat outside, it was bad. Let's get in the, superstitious, like get in there. My thing is this, they dialed in on the second half adjustments. They cleaned it up. Marcel stepped up and looked like a different human being in the second half. Chris said it best. The line of scrimmage in the first half, they absolutely owned us on both sides, and it was different in the second half. And so I don't even know where I was going with all that, but all I know is you said I sound like that was a movie scene, and I told you we need to emphasize the fact. Nuno, when's the last time we were 10-0?
1992.
When's the last time we had a comeback this big?
Never.
We're there. It's 10-0.
Well,
this is a big deal and a huge response from this football team and Coach Elko. On the day that they announce.
They haven't announced. I don't think they've announced it yet, but the reports are out, right?
The reports are out.
Yeah, the reports are out that he's going to get extended, which I didn't like the timing of the reports floating, but you can't stop a reporter.
No, you can't. No, they're going to report 100%.
CT, I'm going to come to you on this because I'm looking at this game and a couple things were happening in the first half that I have worried me this season, right? And they played out that way. In the first half, you have penalties, you have turnovers, you have big plays that you're giving up. All those things are happening, and then you fall behind. But in the second half, you took South Carolina's will. You did not allow them to make the move. So let's kind of look at it in multiple ways. First off, on how they came back, but secondly, on the fact that they put themselves in that position in the first place.
Yeah, it's South Carolina is. They may be the best 3-7 team now that you're going to face. I mean, when you have a guy that at the start of the season, he's, all conference, he's first team all conference. He's the quarterback that's supposed to elevate that football team, give them an opportunity to be able to play in the postseason. And so, it starts with 16. Lenore Sellers, great athlete. We know what he did to us last year. My brother and I have conversations about A&M every week. And where I was worried about the Arkansas game, this was the one that worried him the most. So we knew what South Carolina was capable of. And, you look at everything that they could have done right in the first half, it happened for them. I mean, we couldn't tackle. We couldn't block. We couldn't catch. We couldn't throw. It was just crazy. But I think when you look at a championship level football team, the game is, and we all say it, it's a cliche statement, it is a game of 4 quarters. But I think Elko this season, we may come out and we don't look our best to start the game, but whatever Elko is doing at halftime and that staff they're doing at halftime, man, the adjustments that they're able to make, the things that they're able to implement or put in place or whatever they're doing at half, it just seems to work. And this, even today, we come out, we're a different football team. It looked like we had more energy. It looked like that we still believe that we were in this game because everything that happened in that first half, it felt like it was self-inflicted. You missed 2 field goals. You throw a pick in the end zone. We drop a touchdown. All of those things felt very self-inflicted. Those are things that you can correct. And so go in at halftime, take a deep breath, wake up, being an 11 o'clock game, go out the second half and do what we did. And here's that word from the past. We just had to execute. We finally executed the second half. We did the things that we've done all year. We were consistent. We protected Marcel. And, man, we played grown man football. Those guys stepped up. They played hard. They fought. They played for the name on the front of the jersey, and they represented today 10-0. Man, it's a great feeling. This football team is destined to do something great. So, man, hold on to your hats. This is going to be fun down the stretch.
CT, you mentioned the halftime speech and the adjustments. Harrington, you asked about it. Here's what Coach Elko said at the half. Honestly, not much. All we talked about was the identity of who we are and what we play to. If we are a good football team, we are a blue-collar physical team that controls the line of scrimmage. We weren't doing any of that. These kids believed we were going to come out and win the second half. Harrington, take it from there.
Yeah, that's it. Totally different attitude second half. Would hate to see this ever happen again this season. That's like your one lifeline that you just called. And so we've got to start faster. But glad to see everybody come back out, the second half. And then, dominate the line of scrimmage the second half and make adjustments. I love to see Cassius Howell dropping Spy and Sellers there on that last play. That was pretty awesome adjustment to that. I think Dalton Brooks had a tremendous game today. I think Tyler Onyedem continues to wreak havoc up there up front on the D-line, getting penetration and blowing up run plays. Give it to Nick Harper. He's a tremendous athlete. But maybe he should have stuck to track because, he's getting banged up over and over again. I don't think he liked Dalton Brooks landing on him, but he made a tremendous catch on that one of those last plays. You can give it to Beamer. He had that team fired up, fighting for their lives, and they almost did it, but almost doesn't count. So glad the boys pulled it together and finished it off, and look forward to going into it. And the thing is, this is already a tremendous season.
Yep.
Like this is one for the record books. And so I'm just very, very thankful to be a part of it and to be an Aggie today.
Leone, I'm going to just give you a couple people's numbers. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good. I think they're good. Tell me if you think this is good. Casey Concepcion, 7 catches, 158 yards. Is that good?
That's good. And
Okay.
that's with a missed touchdown.
Yeah, he dropped. Right?
Yeah.
Ashton Bethel-Roman, who had a couple of drops, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
4 catches, 139 yards, and really the most remarkable touchdown maybe of the afternoon.
Yep.
Just kind of react to those. And I'm going to give you another. I'm just keep giving you names of people making huge plays in this game. Nate Borkature.
Yeah.
Early on, he had a big one, and he had that big hit too.
Well, that's the thing to me. Like my brother-in-law Tate and I were sitting there watching the game. When Borkature caught that ball, Marcel went through his progressions. Nobody was open.
Mm-hmm.
87. I believe, I could be wrong. Again, this is not breaking down film. This is quick hitting. I think he delayed block and released, and Marcel checked it down to him. He absolutely trucked that dude for an 8-yard gain. And that's one of those tone-setting type of plays. Like you put a dude on his back, and when you stand up over his face mask and he's looking up at your behind, that's not a good feeling. That's a momentum-changing type play. And so Ashton Bethel-Roman, him having the type of day he did when Mario Craver was down, that's a big deal. And again, you and I have talked about this. We've all talked about this on the postgame show. What you're starting to see, and you've seen all year from this team, is there's always someone that's willing to step up and make the plays. And that is a testament to development. That is a testament to depth. And that is a testament to recruiting and hitting the portal well. So those numbers are insane. And they could have been better. But for me, there's a lot of life lessons in this game, right? You hear Coach Elko talk about processes over results often. The results in the first half were a bag of dog poop that you scoop when you take your dog on a walk. The results in the second half were how you build a championship team. And the team stayed here. They stayed present. They stayed even keel. They were a solid foundation. And based on what you read about Elko's comments, they were like, what did you say at halftime? I didn't say anything. All I said was we're the better team. They owned the line of scrimmage in the first half. We've owned it all year. Go out there and own it in the second half, and let's see the results. And they stuck to the process. They didn't waver. The coaches made great adjustments like they've done all year long. We went out, took care of business, and we all witnessed the largest comeback in SEC history in 20 years and the largest comeback for Texas A&M. So we're 10-0, baby. What else can you say?
By the way, we have a studio audience that can't hear anything on Zoom. They love this show, by the way. Harrington, I'm going to go to you because at the half, third downs were kind of killing A&M's defense, and A&M's the best defense in the country at stopping the third downs. I think it was 3 of 8.
I got you right here.
And then it was 4 of 15 to finish the game. So
4 of 15.
Yeah, 4 of 15 to finish the game. Initially, though, they were getting it. At one point, it was like 3 of 5, I believe. So something changed on third down. And Mike Elko typically and Jay Bateman, that's when their ears are pinned back, right? When it's third and long, they get after it. And there was a lot of third and longs for South Carolina in the second half.
Yeah, it was interesting, to hear that, change in offensive coordinator in a bye week and, lots of time to watch film and study tendencies and break tendencies. And so anytime a team has, an extra week to prepare, with their jobs on the line, they're going to come out fighting. And that's what they did. But, A&M defense settled in, playmakers made plays, and the rest is history. So I don't really want to spend too much time on the first half because that's not the A&M football team we've been watching all season.
For sure.
And that wasn't the A&M football team that we saw in the second half. So let's just chalk it up to what it was. We could slice and dice, everything that went wrong. There's too much to mention. We've covered a lot of it, but just super proud to see the resilience and character in Marcel Reed under pressure. I mean, I think there was one play. He's about to get sacked, defender's right in his face. He checks it down. I think it was Reuben Owens, barely gets it out, and that was kind of where I saw, the tide turning and, him just staying calm under pressure. But the explosive offense is something that's been missing for quite some time. And we have the ability to come back, from a 27-point deficit. And we know the defense, when they're playing their best, will stop teams, just straight out stop them. So great to see, both sides of the line of scrimmage win there in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
CT, I'm going to read this. A couple things from Mike Elko. First off, he says Reuben Owens' injury is not a massive thing, which is good news. We'll see. I wouldn't expect him next week.
No.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And then he says on Marcel Reed, that's what winners do. They control what they're capable of controlling. You have to have confidence in every person around you, and it wasn't lost on him that he wasn't playing well. He believes in this team. The only thing that you can do is make the next throw. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he stayed within himself, and Leone made a great point earlier. He's even keel, and from the quarterback position, that's what you have to have. You can't have a highly emotional guy. I mean, you think back to the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Mannings. They throw a pick, dang it, I messed up. They come back, they make a play. And that's what you're seeing him grow. You're seeing him continuing to get better as a leader, as a passer, as a football player. And this team rallies and believes in him. And so I don't think you saw anybody really get down or upset or really thought. Now, from a fan standpoint, man, I was inconsolable. It was terrible. But from a football standpoint, and those guys, man, that team, they rally behind each other. They believe in each other. They know what they have at signal caller, and 10 is the guy that's powering that engine. I've said all season long. You look at Reuben Owens, he's down. You look at 8, Le'Veon, he's down. I thought that running back room is as deep as any position on that team. You saw EJ Smith step up, have a great game. Morrow he's contributing. Man, that room is going to be fine. We have guys that they trust, that are making plays. They're taking care of the football. Except for that last offensive play we had. But, man, this is a complete team. We've got playmakers. Elko and company has done a great job in recruiting. They've done a great job in the portal, and they're finding guys that fit what they're trying to do, and those guys are making plays. But it all starts with number 10 behind that offensive line that played great the second half.
Brandon, I don't want to be mean. I'm not going to go petty on Shane Beamer. I'm not going to do that, right? So I already did that on Twitter. You go watch the video.
I will.
Where he talks about the real 12th man. You can see the real 12th man. That being said, I didn't love the play call with Morrow at the end. Backwards passes could have cost you this game. Mm-hmm. 2.
One for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that one gave them the ball when
Correct.
You had a chance to take an 8-point lead.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, Colin Klein in the second half, he was dialing it up.
He was in his bag. And so was number 10. And again, that's credit to, think about this is a team with nothing to lose. We're playing that's super talented, that's played 5 top 10 teams in a row. Never seen that. I was hesitant and nervous because of Lenore Sellers and what he did to us last week. But listen, my favorite thing about this team, I just feel like they're overcomers. I want you to think about this. We lost the turnover battle 4-1. We threw one in the end zone, right? A pick in the end zone.
Trying to get me upset again.
No, I'm not trying to get you upset because that pissed me off too. What I'm trying to get you to do is think about what this team has overcome.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying. I was upset too. You missed 2 field goals. You throw a pick in the end zone.
They got to get that fixed, by the way.
They got to get that fixed, 100%. But listen, the play you're talking about, when it's fourth quarter, Kyle Field's going crazy. We think we're about to ice them and force them to have an 8-point lead where they got to go score and get a 2-point conversion, and we get cute. We turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
That puts a lot of pressure on our defense.
Yeah.
Okay. When you have that many turnovers, I mean, I don't know. I would love for someone on TexAgs to look up the statistics of when you lose the turnover battle by 3 and still win with 2 missed field goals. What did I say about how many comebacks? There were 0, 1, and 278 in the history down that low. The fact that we overcame 3 turnovers, one that was a quick play. Marcel threw it, negative play. They return it. That was 14 points we gave to South Carolina in a matter of about 70 seconds of game time. Those things are hard to overcome. Whether you're home, whether you're away, whether it's an unranked team, whether it's a top 10 team, we are overcoming our self-inflicted wounds and mistakes. And when we play clean football like we did in the second half, who will stop this football team?
Yep.
But for Elko, you have the first half to sit back on as you finish this final stretch and head into potentially the playoffs. Say you can either be Team A in the first half or you can be Team B. Who do you think is going to give you success in the end? It's the team that overcomes adversity and plays clean football.
Let's do this. Everybody, 30 seconds, and I just kind of want you guys to react to this, and we'll start off with CT. This team was a half away from maybe not even knowing if they would make the playoffs. They are now going to be an 11-win team at the very minimum. They are going to the playoffs. So let's talk about that, considering what you still have. Samford next week, Texas, and then hopefully an SEC championship game. CT, 30 seconds, Harrington, and then Leone to close us out.
Yeah, I'm looking to book my ticket. So I'm trying to figure out where we're going to get it done. But it just shows the resilience of this football team. It shows the togetherness of this football team. These guys will continue to fight. They believe in each other. They work. They're going to work hard for each other. And when you have a team that won't quit, that's a dangerous football team. So not our best showing first half, but to see this team in the second half, unbelievable comeback, excited for what the rest of the season holds. Man, we've got it all in front of us. We just have to go and take it now.
Harrington?
Yeah, going through a trial, that adversity, that produces endurance and that strength. And those are things that, strengthen the team moving forward. And so they went through some adversity the first half of this game, but they came through it, and now they're stronger because of it. Hopefully they learn from it. Hopefully we never see a first quarter like we saw, let alone a first half. But super proud of these guys overcoming adversity. I've got my flights booked to Atlanta. I know I sent them to CT. Maybe we'll be flying together. Let's finish this thing out. Samford at home, get some guys rested up. Hopefully get Le'Veon back. That'd be great. And then finish, regular season off with a win in Austin. That'd be the best way to end this season, this regular season.
Man, I tell my 12-year-old daughter this often. She's got a lot of big dreams. She's got a lot of big aspirations, but she's young. And so in this generation, I feel like sometimes there's a sense of entitlement. And I say, baby girl, you can't just see the top of the mountain and think you're just going to get there and dropped off by a helicopter. Like, you got to hike it. You got to find a way. You got to strategize. You got to be intentional. Alex Hormozy, one of my favorite authors. I've dreamed of A&M being in this place for a long time. When I signed here, I thought we'd be there. And as a fan and as someone that follows the program, I've always thought about this. But he says, the irony of dreams is that you have to wake up, get out of bed, and face your nightmares to make them come true. That first half was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare.
And it almost ended what was probably a lot of these players' dreams. But they woke their tails up. They battled. Now they got 2 games left to go and set themselves up for something that we haven't seen in a really long time. And so for me, I'm so impressed and I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy for their ability to respond. And I hope they don't read Twitter. I hope they don't listen to us. I hope they just stay and maybe listen to you because you're excellent at what you do. But ultimately, they woke up from a nightmare and they kept their dreams going true. They executed. They did what they needed to do, and now they have a lot in front of them still.
All right, this guy's always got to end the show poetically. We can't have another comment after that. Good job, Brandon. Good job, CT. Good job, Chris Harrington. All right, this does it for the TexAgs post-game wrap. Thank you to TKO Equipment, and of course, Bubba's 33. A&M wins it 31-30. The biggest comeback in SEC history in the last 20 years is what it said. 20 years. Tomorrow, the Luchador. And then on Monday, TexAgs Live at 8 a.m. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you then.